Good morning, students. Since I have already finished explaining this play Box and Fox, and in this video, we will discuss some important questions, that is, character sketch of Mr. Cox and Box, and I'll tell you how to write an RTC. And even I have given one sample RTC with some points, and I'll tell you how to frame those RTCs and some important RTCs from the chapter Box and Cox. So let us start. Okay, now let's start. See this question, character sketch of James Cox. So usually this question comes for 5 marks and you will be asked write the character sketch of James Cox. So when you will frame your answer for 5 marks, first of all you have to give a bit introduction to your answer. In your introduction you can write about the prose or about the play, what is exactly about, then you can start your answer. So how can you write a character sketch? So when you read the play as a whole, you will know each and every character properly. So according to the situations and according to the situations that you have seen in the play, from that we can pick out the characters of these persons, like particular characters, their characteristics, we can find it out. So in order to frame that answer, I have given here some important points where you can add it in your answer. Now see, if you see from the beginning till end, you will see what kind of a person Mr. Cox is, the way he behaves, the way he talks to Mrs. Bouncer, the way he reacts to situations. Actually from those things we can find out the characteristics of a person and we can frame this answer, the character sketch of James Cox. Now see, first point, James Cox the Hatter possesses good sense of humor, is polite, intelligent, not easily convinced. Yes, definitely. This first point, we find it in the first half of this play. Okay, that he is quite humorous while he is dealing with his hats. Then, the first encounter, Mr. Cox looks at himself in a looking glass. We also saw that. Then, when Mrs. Bouncer enters, starts the conversation, revealing his personality. Then, questions are about his easily evaporating personal stuffs and the tobacco smoke which he frequently enters in his room. Then, his queries, though answered by Mrs. B, not accept them as valid, proving the point that he can't be easily convinced. Then possesses good sense of humor as he in a very humorous manner insults Mrs. B when he accuses him of grumbling. Now here, see, these are some main points you can add into your answer while writing the character sketch of Mr. Cox. So in the next slide we will see some two more points. Now see here, Mr. Cox, he is a polite person. So how can we tell that he is a polite person? Because he never behaved rudely with Mrs. B, though he suspected Mrs. Bouncer is using his stuff. Then when you're about to conclude your answer, you can say that thus a person who tackles a situation softly and behaves in a logical manner. So we got he was humorous, then he was a polite person. So with all these points you can frame your answer and write this character sketch of James Cox. Okay, now coming to character sketch of John Box. So same way you have to frame your answer. I have provided here some points and with the help of these points you can frame this answer. So now see, John Box the printer. He was short-tempered, rude, a firm person. He enters the play with a bang, accidentally collides with Cox at the staircase during his return, gets angry and starts abusing, revealing his personality. Then see, snaps at Mrs. B's each statement. Then when Mrs. Bouncer requests him to smoke less, he replied rudely. Then again after he departed, starts cooking, he gets angry and he feels that his stuffs are evaporating before time. And he too, like Mr. Cox, suspects that Mrs. Bouncer and he was unaware of her capital idea. Her capital idea was what? That that Mrs. B was renting the same room to two sets of lodgers and she was earning double money out of it. So that is the capital idea. Okay, now coming to the most important part. So in alternative English, reference to the context comes for prose also, for poetry also. For prose, reference to the context carries 4 marks, and for poetry it carries 5 marks. But the way to write reference to the context is same for both poetry and prose. Now always remember, when you are writing a reference to the context, or you can say it as an RTC, you should remember that you have to write the reference to the context in 3 paragraphs. So if you do not follow the proper format for writing this reference to the context, your marks will be deducted. So you should be very precise and clear regarding this format. So I have given here. Now see, as I already told you all, you have to write it in 3 paragraphs. Now what should you write in these 3 paragraphs? The first paragraph always begins with, like, from where the given lines are taken from, who is the author of these lines. So for example, you can write like the extracted lines or the above quoted lines are taken from the prose piece Box and Cox by John Maddison Morton. So in this way we write. So some lines will be given and you have to write the reference to the context. So in the first paragraph you will write that the above quoted lines or the extracted lines are taken from the prose piece or the play Box and Cox by John Maddison Morton. And after writing that line, you can add 2 more sentences about the prose or about the play or about the poem, whatever question you were given. So you can write something about the play within 2 sentences in the first paragraph. So then comes the second paragraph. So the second paragraph also will be very brief and short. You won't need to explain much here. In the second paragraph, what you will write is that whatever lines you are given to write the reference to the context, you have to explain it in very precise manner. Okay, you don't need to elaborate too much. You just need to write whatever you have understood from those lines. It will just be of around like 5 to 6 sentences. That much is enough in the second paragraph. Now come to the third paragraph. So that is the main paragraph actually. So in that third paragraph, you will write the full explanation of those lines. Why those lines were spoken, who said those lines to whom, on what context, everything will be there in the third paragraph. And in the third paragraph itself, when you are about to finish, you will conclude it in a very nice way. You will also include, you will also conclude it with some important lines, or you can conclude it in a very proper manner. So in the first paragraph you will write from where this extract is taken from, who wrote it, and even you can write who spoke those words. You can even write that. And in 2 sentences you will write about the prose, play or drama, whatever you were given to. In the second paragraph, in a very precise way, in a very precise and very particular, okay, you will write the second paragraph just in 5 or 6 sentences. Then in the third paragraph will be a big one where you will give the full explanation of those lines, who said, to whom it was said, or on what context it was said, and you will conclude it properly, the third paragraph. But you are not going to change paragraph for your conclusion. Your RTC should be within 3 paragraphs. Got it? So we will see how to write. Since I already told you all now how to write an RTC, I have given one question, and with that question I have even given some points there. So with the help of these points you will frame one RTC. With the help of those points, you will frame an RTC the way I have told you all. Is it clear? Now see this reference to the context. So fate has placed me with the most punctual, particular and peremptory of hatters, and I must fulfill my destiny. So this RTC will carry 4 marks. And these are some important points I have given here. With the help of these points you will write. So when you will start the first paragraph, you will write that the above extracted lines are taken from the play Box and Cox by John Maddison Morton. So you can even tell like who spoke these words. And in just 2 sentences you will write about this play. So first paragraph is over. Then in the second paragraph you will write what exactly Mr. Cox meant by these words. Okay, So I have given here like it was spoken by Cox. Then these lines describe the nature of his job, what kind of a job he does. He's a hatter, and since his employer was also a very punctual person, he should also be needs to be punctual, particular, and the owner won't accept any refusal. Cox is a hatter, works in the morning hours. His job needs to be very particular and punctual about time. On the particular day, was late for his job as he was having a conversation with Mrs. Bouncer. Then questions are about her early evaporating stuff and room filled up with smoke, tobacco smoke. While conversing, he gets late for job. 11.5 minutes late, boss asks him to take a leave. Hence, he returns home early and he came to know about Mrs. Bounce's central idea. And thus, this line justifies his early return as late gets the day off, as he gets the day off and he comes back early. So these are some points you will use in your answer while writing RTC. So you have to frame it in 3 paragraphs. First paragraph, from where, who spoke, just 2 sentences about the play. Then in the second paragraph, what exactly this quoted line means, you will just write it in 5 to 6 sentences, not more than that. And in the third paragraph, you will write in details on what context, who said this, why it was said, and what happened, and you will conclude your answer. This is how reference to the context are actually written. You have to follow the structure. If you don't follow the structure, your marks will be deducted. This is very important for alternative English, whether you write reference to the context for poems or for prose. The structure is almost same. Got it? I hope all of you all have understood what I am actually trying to say. This is very important for your exams. Now see, these are some extracted lines actually which questions usually come regarding RTCs. So number one, then I will lend us one, and if you turn to the letter J, you will find grumble. Verb neuter, to complain without a cause. Now that's not my case, Mrs. B. I hope all of you all got these lines in your book while you were reading. And those who did not read the lesson till now, please read it once. And if you want to go through the videos once again, you can go through. Got it? But be clear with these lines and be specific about like who uttered these lines, why it was uttered. You should be very clear about that. Otherwise, your RDC will be wrong. Number two, I am speaking of tobacco smoke, Mrs. B. I hope, Mrs. Bouncer, you are not guilty of cherots or Cubans. Then three, he is gone at last. I declare I was all in a trouble for fear Mr. Box would come in before Mr. Cox went out. Number four, your apartment? You mean my apartment. You contemptible hatter, you. So these four extracted lines are probable questions for reference to the context. I hope all of you have understood the chapter, and please try to write these reference to the context for your own benefit, and try to stick to the structure which I have told you all now, not only for prose but also for poetry. So for prose, your reference to the context will carry 4 marks, and for poetry it will carry 5 marks. So with this I wind up my class, and thank you everyone.